It was a private thing, a human thing, a fragile collection of words written during sleepless nights and quiet despair. Yet when she found it, tucked beneath the thin sleeping pad in the corner of the research habitat, she hesitated only a moment before opening it. And when she began to read, she did not turn away from the truth. Her name was Esalen of the Tyrix Continuum, Senior Cultural Analyst assigned to Outpost K-47, a joint human, alien research station orbiting a dying red star. Her species believed emotions were weaknesses to be studied, not indulged. Pain was to be acknowledged, catalogued, and set aside. Humans, she had learned, did not work that way. Especially this one. Daniel Mercer was a maintenance specialist, officially insignificant, unofficially indispensable. He fixed systems that no one else understood, kept life support running through ingenuity rather than protocol, and spoke little unless necessary. His eyes always looked tired, as if he carried something heavy behind them. Esalen had noticed. She noticed everything. The journal was old, its digital casing scratched and faded. Human technology was inelegant but durable, much like the humans themselves. She had intended to return it unopened. Then she saw the date of the last entry. It was from the night before. Against her better judgment, she activated it. Day 1192 since Earth. I don't know why I keep writing. Maybe because if I stop, everything I carry will spill out all at once. I miss rain. Real rain. The way it smells before it falls. I miss trees that aren't simulations. I miss being unknown. I don't think anyone here realizes how tired I am. Esalen felt something tighten in her chest. Not discomfort. She knew that sensation well, but something unfamiliar. A subtle pull, as if the words themselves demanded attention. She continued. Daniel wrote of Earth not as a glorious cradle of humanity, but as a place of contradictions, beauty and cruelty, kindness and neglect. He wrote of growing up in a city where the stars were drowned out by light, of working 2 jobs before joining the Terran Expansion Corps simply to escape. He wrote of war, not the heroic kind sung in recruitment broadcasts, but the quiet aftermath, the screams that didn't fade, the guilt of surviving when others didn't. He wrote of loneliness in a universe filled with life. Day 843. They say humans adapt quickly. I guess that's true. But no one talks about what we lose while adapting. We don't shed pain, we stack it. We carry it forward and pretend it makes us stronger. Sometimes I wonder how much weight a person can carry before something breaks. Esalen stopped reading. Her species did not document emotions like this. Truth, yes. Data, yes. But not vulnerability laid bare, without calculation. Humans recorded pain not to analyze it, but to survive it. She had studied humanity for years. This journal taught her more, in minutes, than any report ever had. The middle of the story unfolded over days. Esalen continued reading in secret, returning to the journal whenever Daniel was on shift. She learned of his fear of being unnecessary, of how he believed his worth was measured only by usefulness. She read about sleepless nights spent listening to the station hum, convincing himself that keeping it alive justified his existence. Day 1101. I don't think the aliens understand us. They're polite, curious, distant. They don't ask how we're doing unless it serves a purpose. But maybe that's okay. Maybe it's enough that we're still here. The words unsettled her. Esalen prided herself on objectivity, yet she found herself watching Daniel differently. She noticed the stiffness in his movements when he thought no one was looking, the way he always volunteered for the worst shifts, the careful kindness he showed junior crew members. He carried pain quietly, and still he served. The day everything changed, Esalen made a decision that violated 3 research ethics protocols.
She spoke to him.
Daniel, she said, intercepting him in the maintenance corridor. He looked surprised. Yes, Analyst Esalen? May I ask you something personal? Humans always stiffened when aliens said that. He nodded cautiously. Why do you continue this work? She asked. When it causes you distress? He hesitated. Because things break, he said finally. And someone has to fix them. That is insufficient, she said gently. You are not a machine. He laughed softly. Sometimes I feel like one. Her voice lowered. You are not. Silence stretched between them. Then she did something unprecedented. I read your journal, she said. His face went pale. I'm sorry, she added quickly. I should not have. But I did. And I did not turn away. For a moment, Daniel looked as if the floor had vanished beneath him. You weren't supposed to see that, he said quietly. I know, she replied. But I saw truth. And I wish to understand it. He stared at her, then looked away. Most people don't want to, he said. It's easier to pretend we're fine. Your species pretends remarkably well, Esalen said. But you do not stop feeling. No, he admitted. We don't. The ending began with a crisis. A solar flare struck the station without warning, crippling multiple systems. Automated responses failed. Panic spread through the command deck. Daniel didn't hesitate. He ran. Through radiation alarms. Through failing corridors. Through pain that flared in his chest as old injuries screamed their protest. He kept moving because people depended on him. Esalen watched from the observation bay as he stabilized the core manually, something no alien technician would attempt. He collapsed moments after. When Daniel woke, the lights were dim and unfamiliar. Esalen sat beside his bed. You saved the station, she said. He smiled weakly. Just doing my job. She shook her head. No, you chose to. She placed the journal beside him. I want you to know something, she said. Your pain is not a flaw. It is evidence. Of what? He asked. Of endurance, she replied. Of care. Of a species that feels deeply and continues anyway. He swallowed hard. I was afraid you'd think less of us, he said. I think more, she said simply. In the weeks that followed, changes rippled outward. Esalen rewrote her report. She argued that humanity's greatest strength was not aggression or adaptability, but emotional resilience. The ability to confront truth without turning away. To carry pain and still choose compassion. Her findings reshaped interspecies policy. Human mental health support became mandatory on joint stations. Emotional expression was no longer dismissed as inefficiency. And Daniel? He kept writing. But now he wasn't alone. On the final page of the journal, a new entry appeared. Day 1243. Someone read my words and didn't look away. Maybe that's enough.